We want to talk about the markets right now, given everything with the Middle East. And of course, oil prices, they surged last night after President Trump's remarks. We'll get to that in just a moment, but I want to break it down here for you because last week we had oil prices for crude oil futures hovering just under $100 a barrel. And as it was creeping up, we saw the market really take a slide. Then today we see oil at $113. But the market for stocks, they were pretty much flat today. So what gives? Well, we know a guy that can give us all of the info right now. Dan Varroney joining me here on LiveNOW from Fox, economic strategist. Great to have you on. And Dan, if you could break that down to our audience,
Sure.
why, we saw pretty much a flat day today. It was getting red in the pre-market, but everything changed.
And in addition to that, market futures for tomorrow are showing green. So how's that for a bit of a surprise? So here's my sense of it. I think the president was direct. He was forthcoming, indicated that the conflict would last for another 2 or 3 weeks, was determined to finish the job, and felt confident that the U.S. and Israel were where they needed to be. I think that was reassuring to markets today. I think that's why you saw things come out about even. And I think you'll see tomorrow early futures are showing green across the board. So I think that's all good news, at least for this 24-hour period.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just something to see when you're thinking, okay, you look up and it's all red across the board and you're thinking, oh man, is this going to dip really, really low? But then it rebounded nicely. Was the market expecting in yesterday's speech by the president for him to come out and just say that the war is over? Because it seemed like once they knew, okay, that's not the case, things started to tumble.
So here's what this is what I heard. There was all kinds of talk, but I think as the day started and as the day went on yesterday, all the rumors were leaking out about what the president was going to talk about. But let me sort of give you some other economic news that I think are influencing some of these stock market numbers. So the ADP private sector jobs report came out yesterday. And while it was only 62,000 job gain, what I'll tell you is that 3/4 of those new jobs created came from small business, which is an incredibly positive sign. Historically, what we notice in all of our economic growth history narrative is that when small business is growing jobs, the economy is growing jobs. So I think that has had something to do with it. There's been other good economic news this week as well, Mike. The retail sales numbers came out strong. The trade deficit numbers came out strong, a lot better than they were a year ago. So despite the economic pressures and the inflationary pressures and higher prices of oil, there's still some good news. And the other thing I'll share with you that's interesting, the economy is still growing at about 2 to 2.5%. So not as good as we hoped, but all things considered, we still have got growth in our economy.
And Dan, what different indicators are you going to be looking at with the some more reports coming up on the horizon? What are you going to be really zeroing in on?
So I'll be looking at tomorrow's jobs numbers. The Bureau of Labor Statistics issues their jobs numbers tomorrow. And here's what I'll be looking at. My guess is they'll probably come in between 58 and 62,000 job gain. What I'll be looking for is where those job gains are. Are they in manufacturing? If so, there's reason to be enthused and to cheer a bit. And I'll look to see if those job gains are widespread. Now, in the next few weeks, we'll be looking at the inflation numbers. What's the consumer price index going to say? What are the wholesale price numbers going to say? And I think that will give us a barometer of where we are. In addition, to continue to look at the daily price per barrel of the West Texas crude and then the Brent crude.
Yeah, definitely. That is going to be something to really zero in on in the coming weeks there. But yeah, you're right. That CPI number that will be coming out are very crucial for March.
I think absolutely crucial for March. So clearly, here's what we know is that oil drives everything in this economy when it comes to pricing. But it's not just the gasoline that we buy at the pump, Mike. It's the diesel fuel. So diesel, think of diesel like it would an artery running through our entire economy. The fact that diesel is up as much as it is, food prices are up, goods prices are up, plumbing supply prices are up. A lot of prices are going to be up. The question is, what kind of price increases are we looking at? But I really want to put an asterisk on this. Remember that we're in the middle of an oil price shock. The shock is going to go away when the war ends. We're in week 4. If this ends in 2 or 3 weeks, what I want us to stay focused on is this. How long will it take for gasoline prices to go down? And then how long will it take for diesel prices to go down? Because if diesel prices go down in 6 to 12 weeks, as I expect, and gasoline prices go down in 2 to 3 weeks, I think we'll see those inflation numbers fall as a result. So we can't look at the numbers as static. We have to keep in mind that we're in the middle of an energy price shock. That will go away when the war ends.
Yeah, that's so well said there, Dan, because, just think about all of your favorite things that you consume on a daily basis and know that, well, it takes fuel to get it to where you shop at, and that'll be a major factor as we continue to talk in the coming weeks.
Yeah, without a doubt. And here's the other thing that I'll share with you is that we're coming up on Easter weekend, and chocolate prices are up in the last 5 years by about 58%. And what's driving that is as follows. They come from the west coast of Africa, and there's been a drought there, and the crops have been sick. Regardless, there's been high demand for chocolate. So here we are in the Easter holiday season. There's a big demand for it. But prices even year over year are up 10%. And people are still out buying the chocolate, I will say.
Oh yeah, definitely. They still need that fix. You got it. Sometimes you need it. It doesn't matter what the price is. Dan, great to have you on here on Live Now from Fox. Always great to speak with you.
Great to see you.
Take care.